What's going on, everyone? My name's Tenebris Infinite, and today we are going to figure out the ultimate stealth build in Generation Zero. So the first thing that we have to figure out here with stealth and skills here in Generation Zero is how they interrelate with the new changes to the clothing schematics, and seeing if we can kind of find a good balance between the stealth clothing schematics and the stealth skills in the game. So, first up, we are going to be using 40% stealth, and this is gained by using just the stealth skills alone, so no stealth clothing. And the detection times might seem kinda similar between these, but trust me, it's the milliseconds that count here. Now, a funny thing here in Generation Zero, and this was something that was tipped off to me by Olo in the first place, so shoutouts to you, my dude, but the higher you go in your stealth percentage, sometimes, like, if you go too high, it winds up working in the opposite effect. So, when you wind up with 80% stealth, you actually wind up getting spotted a lot faster in the game. But interestingly here is that if we bring our stealth skills up just to the point where we're only going like a little bit over that 40%, we wind up with immense levels of stealth in this game. So first up, let's take a look at the clothing and skills that we've put onto our character. Now, you could totally just take clothing stats and apply it to a Vanguard build and wind up with a really good stealth build. But with this balance, you wind up getting kind of the ultimate stealth build because you've pushed the stealth up by like just enough of a degree to improve it, but not enough to kind of, I guess, underflow it or whatever happens. So, the way I've went about setting this up is I maxed out stamina recharge in order to benefit bow combat, gave 2 points into health amount to make us a little bit less soft, maxed out visibility, movement noise, covert movement speed, and then went for the commando specialization just to get away from Vanguard for myself. And then on the left-hand side of the survival tree, we went for stamina amount, running speed, and then carry capacity all at level 1. Then, for the tech tree on the left-hand side, we went down to component damage, maxed that out. For combat, we went down the combat tree, put 1 point into each up till armor, and then in armor damage, maxed that out, and then maxed out trigger happy in order to benefit the AT wad. And then, on the left-hand side, to wrap up our skills, we put our point into aim speed, hip shot, weapon recoil, and then our last 2 points into weapon sway, to make our weapons a little bit more controllable. For clothing, in order to hit that 50 point, all I did was put on one level 5 jacket for visibility, and then level 5 for movement noise on the shoes. Everything else doesn't really matter, but you just want to put only one of each onto your character. And then for our loadout, we're going to be using the AT wad as our primary kind of DPS, fully auto weapon. We're going to be using the ALG as our long-range sniper rifle, and then we're going to be using the heavy bow as our close to medium-range ultra-stealth weapon. Now, when we get to the practical application of this build, this is where you really get to see that this is a pretty big stealth monster in this game. I'm kinda rusty with the bow, but I wasn't really trying too hard to be stealthy here. I was just, proning when need be, and I managed to kill a lot of doggos, a lot of apocalypse doggos, before getting spotted by the bunch. I really like using this area here to test out stealth because these apocalypse doggos have really high detection speeds. So, and the other thing too is they've got like this hive mind thing that most of the machines have, but since they're all really close together, you can very easily trigger that hive mind. And so, it's just a really good area to, like, practically test stealth. Turnbow to scans, that is. I don't think I mentioned that there. Anyway, as we move along here, I kind of flubbed my stealth because, again, I wasn't really trying that hard. But the cool thing about this build is that it's not only just focused on being really stealthy, it's also focused on having the damage output that's necessary for Generation Zero. So, even if things go awry in your stealth, you can still keep things together by using the AT wad as, again, your damage dealer, and using the ALG maybe with shock ammo in order to use it a little bit more efficiently in the middle of heated combat. But you get some really, really awesome options within this build and loadout. Now that was where I made a mistake. I should have switched to my ALG or something, but I thought that I saw the machine through the smoke there. Either way, whatever, man. The AT-WAD actually winds up becoming your most high-profile weapon of the loadout, so you want to use the AT-WAD kind of with a little bit more control. It could be tempting to just blap away with it because it's really become an awesome weapon here in the game, and I think soon we're going to take a look at this rebalancing that was done by the team just to kind of see what actually happened under the hood, percentage-wise with these weapons. But either way, the AT-WAD winds up being your most high-profile weapon, so you want to use that one with a little bit of control. But the other awesome thing about this stealth build is that you can openly engage machines, and as long as you use even some of the most minimal, simplistic cover, like shooting the machines and then running into a building right beside them and going prone, you could wind up avoiding combat and like continuously re-engaging the machines in a stealthy manner. And so that's pretty cool. I think this build is really good for those of you out there that really like to play Generation Zero with like guerrilla warfare, or maybe even earlier players, newer players to the game, even though you wouldn't have access to those schematics, still taking an approach like this to a build, so that way you could maybe engage the machines a little bit more safely from the comfort of a household, as opposed to chatting it up with a Vanguard build and just running around strafing machines. As well, for all of my stealthy snipers out there, you could get some pretty slick stealth out of this thing when you're using the Algstadser or the Mauser at a long distance. The Algstadser has a little bit better damage carry through over longer distances, so you want to be going for that one instead, the 270, but still, either way, it's really, really good for a stealthy sniper build. You might not want to use the shock ammo, because that's kind of high profile, but still a ton of fun. So all in all, some pretty interesting results here from the testing. I do think that the 50-50 build is the best approach in order to have a maximum stealth build here in the game, but the interesting thing is there's a couple ways you could potentially go about setting up a stealth build like this. Potentially aiming for more combat skills, and degrading the amount of stealth skills that you put in and just putting in like the bare minimum. So really, if you guys have any variations on this stealth build, maybe let me know in the comments down below. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.